लाइट चली गई थी भैया। आर्टिकल 235 control over subordinate code. The control over district courts and courts subordinate thereto, including the posting and promotion and the grant to leave to persons belonging to the judicial service of a state and holding any post inferior to the post of district judge shall be vested in the High Court, but nothing in this article shall be construed as taking away from any such person any right to appeal which he may have under the law regulating the condition of his service, or as authorizing the High Court to deal with him otherwise than in accordance with the condition of his service prescribed under law. ओके, हाई कोर्ट देखेगा, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट का शायद गवर्नर देखने वाला है अपॉइंटमेंट कोर्ट का, हाई कोर्ट का ओपिनियन से, कंसल्टेशन से, और इसका डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के नीचे का जो भी अपॉइंटमेंट होगा उसका हाई कोर्ट देखेगा. ओके. आर्टिकल 236 इंटरप्रिटेशन. In this chapter, clause 1, the expression district judge include judge of a civil court, city civil court, additional district judge, joint district judge, assistant district judge, chief judge of small case cause court, chief presidency magistrate, additional chief presidency. भाई मेरी रीडिंग क्वालिटी गिर गई, लाइट गई हो. इससे पहले पूरे आधे घंटे तक बक बक किया हूँ, कुछ भी वर्ड गलत नहीं प्रोनाउंस किया. अब गलत वर्ड प्रोनाउंस कर रहा हूँ. ओह. Presidency magistrate, session judge, additional session judge, and assistant session judge. Clause B. The expression of judicial service means a service considering consisting exclusively. No, exclusively. Man, exclusively. 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 Exclusively of person intend to fill the post of district judge and other civil judicial post inferior to the post of district judge. Okay. Exclusively. 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 I will take care of it later, man. Article 2 Article 237. Application of a provision of this chapter to certain class or classes of magistrate. The governor may by public notification direct that the foregoing provision of this chapter and any rules made thereunder shall with effect from such days as may be fixed by him in that we have apply in relation to any class or classes of magistrate in the state as they apply in relation to persons appointed to the judicial service of the state, subject to such exceptions and modification as may be specified in this notification. Part 8 or 7. Wait, I will check it. Wait. It is 7, I guess. This is 5, this is 6, this is 7. Yes, it is 7, man. I am pathetic, man. In the state in Part B of the first schedule, provided by the Constitution 7 and Amendment Act 1966 as Administration of Union Territories. Part 8, the Union Territories. Article through 239, Administration of Union Territories. Save as otherwise provided by Parliament by law, every Union territory shall be administered by the President, acting to such extent as he thinks fit, through an administrator to be appointed by him with such designation as he may specify. Does America also have Union territories? Or it is only exclusively Indian phenomena? Okay, I will check. America has Union territories or not. Does US have union territories? Okay, USA doesn't have any union territories. That is a exclusively Indian phenomena. Exclusively, exclusively, or exclusively, exclusively. Mm. And notwithstanding anything contained in Part 6, the President may appoint the Governor of State as the administrator of an adjoining Union territory, and where a governor is so appointed, he shall exercise his functions as such administrator independently of his council of ministers. Okay, that is cool. अरे भैया ये आ रहा है. Article through 90 uh, 239A, creation of local legislature or council of minister or both for certain union territories. दिल्ली का है भाई, दिल्ली को है. लोकल लेजिस्लेचर भी है और मिनिस्टर भी हो गई है ऑब्वियसली. पार्लियामेंट बाय लॉ क्रिएट फॉर द यूनियन टेरिटरी ऑफ पौंडीचेरी अ बॉडी whether elected or partly nominated and partly elected to function as a legislature for the union territory or a council of ministers or both with such constitution powers and function in case each case as may be specified in the law. Clause 2. Any such law is referred to Clause 1 shall not be deemed to be an amendment of this Constitution for the purposes of Article 368, notwithstanding that it contains any provision which amends or has the effect of amending this Constitution. Okay. ओ दिल्ली पे आ रहा है, दिल्ली 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 पे आ रहा है भाई। दिल्ली वाले आ गए ओए। नहीं नहीं, वो पंजाबी के लिए होता है ना, वो पंजाबी आ गए ओए, पंजाबी। आर्टिकल 239A, special provisions with respect to Delhi. Clause 1, date of as from the date of commencement of the Constitution, 69th Amendment Act 1991, the Union Territory of Delhi shall be called as the National Capital Territory of Delhi, hereafter in this part referred to as the National Capital Territory, and the admis- administrator thereof appointed under Article 239 shall be designated as the Lieutenant Governor. Uh, Clause 2, Subclause A. There shall be a legislative assembly for the National Capital Territory, and the seats in such assembly shall be filled by members chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the National Capital Territory. Clause 2. The total number of seats in the Legislative Assembly, the number of seats reserved for scheduled castes, the division of the National Capital Territory into territorial constituencies, including the basis for such division, and all other matter relating to the functioning of the Legislative Assembly shall be regulated by law made by Parliament. B, subclause BA, seat shall be reserved for women in Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territory. BB, subclause BB, as nearly as may be one third of the seat reserved for the scheduled caste in the Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territory of Delhi shall be reserved for women. Okay. Subclause BC, as nearly as may be one third of the total number of seats to be filled by direct election in the Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, including the numbers of seats reserved for women belonging to the scheduled caste, shall be reserved for women in such manner as Parliament by law determine. Okay. C. Subclause D. The provisions of Article 324 to 327 and 329 shall apply in relation to the National Capital Territory, the Legislative Assembly of the National Capital Territory, and the member thereof as they apply in relation to a state, the Legislative Assembly of a state, and the members of thereof respectively, and in and any reference in Article 326 and 329 to appropriate legislature shall be deemed to be reference to Parliament. अरे अरे अरे, कितना लिखा है भाई, दिल्ली तो स्पेशल है भाई, दिल्ली को तो एक बार लूटना पड़ेगा, जैसे लूटा था अफगानों ने और मराठों ने। एक बार हम भी दिल्ली को लूटना डिजर्व करते हैं, और जो इतनी सारी पावर कंसंट्रेट हो चुकी है दिल्ली में, उसको थोड़ा बिखेर देते हैं। क्या जरूरत है इतनी पावर की? दिल्ली को तो हम भी लूटेंगे भाई। ओके, मजाक कर रहा हूँ, नहीं सच ही बोल रहा हूँ, दिल्ली को लूटेंगे भाई। पावर को जो थोड़ा ज़्यादा रैंडमाइज करना चाहिए। ये क्या है भाई? Subject to the provision of this constitution, the legislative assembly have power to make laws for the whole or any part of the national capital territory with respect to any matters enumerated in the state list or in concurrent list in so far as any such matter is applicable to union territories, except matter with respect to entries 1, 2, and 18 of the state list of entries 64, 65, and 66 of the list, insofar as they relate to be said entries 1, 2, and 18. B. Nothing in subclause A shall derogate from the powers of Parliament under this constitution to make laws with respect to any matter for union territory or any part thereof. भाई मेरा मुंह दुख रहा है, थोड़ा पानी पी लेता. If any provision of law made by the legislative assembly with respect to any matter is repugnant है होता है शायद, to any provision of a law made by parliament with respect to that matter, whether passed before or after the law made by the legislative assembly of an earlier law other than the law made by the legislative assembly, then in either case the law made by parliament, or as the case may be, such earlier law shall prevail, and the law made by the legislative assembly to extent of the repugnancy be void. तो दिल्ली का जो लेजिस्लेचर असेंबली है उसको पार्लियामेंट के सामने झुकना पड़ेगा. आई थिंक दैट्स इट इज सब क्लॉसेस, provided that if any such law made by the legislature assembly has been reserved for the consideration of the president and has received his assent, such law shall prevail in the national capital territory. अगर लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली ने प्रेसिडेंट की परमिशन से वो लॉ बनाया तो वो लॉ ओवरराइड कर देगा पार्लियामेंट की लॉ को. ओके ठीक है. प्रोवाइडेड फर्दर दैट नथिंग इन दिस सब क्लॉज शैल प्रिवेंट पार्लियामेंट from enacting at any time any law with respect to the same matter, including a law adding to, amending, or varying or repealing the law so made by the legislature assembly. ओ भाई थोड़ा ऐसे बैठते हैं. ओके ओके. और वापस से उस लॉ को शायद पार्लियामेंट रिपेल अमेंड कर सकती है, जो कि ठीक है भाई. Clause 4. There shall be a council of ministers consisting of not more than 10% of total members in the legislative assembly, with the chief minister at the head to aid and advise the lieutenant governor in the exercise of his function in relation to matters with respect to which the legislative assembly has power to make laws, except in so far as he is, by or under any law, required to act in his discretion, provided that in the case of difference of opinion between the lieutenant governor and his minister or on any matter, the lieutenant governor shall report it to the president for decision and act according to the decision given thereon by the president, and pending such decision it shall be competent for the lieutenant governor in any case where the matter in his opinion is so urgent that it is necessary for him to take immediate action, to take such action or to give such a direction in the matter as he deems necessary. Wait. Okay, so Lieutenant Governor can override the decision of ministers. That is a crazy power to have, man. That is a crazy power. He is not even elected. Clause 5. The chief minister shall be appointed by the president, and other ministers shall be appointed by the president on the advice of chief minister, and the minister shall hold office during the pleasure of the president. Okay. The council of Clause 6. The council of ministers shall be collectively responsible to the legislative assembly. Clause 7, subclause A. The parliament may by law make provisions for giving effect to or supplementing the provision contained in the foregoing clauses and for matters incidental or consequential thereto. Subclause B. Any such law as in referred to in subclause A shall not be deemed to be amendment of this constitution for the purpose of Article 368, notwithstanding that it contains any provision which amends or has the effect or of amending this constitution. Okay. आर्टिकल 368 में क्या रखा है भाई? चलो जरा जाके देखते हैं ये कौन सा पेज नंबर 115 है. आ जाओ जरा आर्टिकल 368 को देखते ढूंढते. आ जाओ. भाई कब कहाँ है हमारा आर्टिकल? ओके ओके यहाँ पर है. Article 368 Power of Parliament to amend the Constitution and procedure thereof. Notwithstanding anything in this Constitution, Parliament may in exercise of its constitute power amend by way of addition, variation, or repeal any provision of this Constitution in accordance with procedure laid down in this article. Clause 2. An amendment of this Constitution may be initiated only by the introduction of bill for the purpose in either House of Parliament, and when the bill is passed in each house by majority of total membership of what house and by majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of that house present and voting, it shall be presented to the president shall give his assent to the bill, and thereupon the constitution shall stand appended in accordance with the terms of the bill, provided that if such amendment seeks to make any change in Article 54, Article 55, Article 73, Article 162, Article 241, or Article 279A, Chapter 4 of Part 5, Chapter 5 of Part 6, Chapter 1 of 11, or see any of the list of 7 schedule, or the representation of states in Parliament, or the provision of this article. The amendment shall also require to be ratified by the legislature of not less than one of the states by resolution to effect passed by those legislature before bill making provision. Nothing in Article 13 shall apply to any amendment made under this article. No amendment of this constitution, including the provisions of Part 3, made or purporting to have been made under this article, whether before or after the commencement of Section 55 of the Constitution, 46nd Amendment Act, shall be called in question in any court or any ground. For the removal of the doubts, it is hereby declared that there shall be no limitation